The most interesting thing in tech, I'm here at the end of the DLD conference with Audrey Tang, one of my favorite people to talk to in AI. One of Audrey's theory is that there's a vertical race in AI between these companies that are going to make billions, trillions of dollars, and then there's a horizontal race. Developers around the world building tools that will, as Audrey says, summon the Buddha and make AI more helpful, embed values in it. So one of the big questions is evaluations. How do you evaluate whether AI is doing the right thing? There are all these evals, the big companies go for it, they kind of nail them all, they're all trained for all the problems that I've talked about many times. But Audrey and the Collective Intelligence Project have come up with a really cool system called Wevals, which is totally different.
Yes.
Explain how it works.
Okay, weval.org is like wiki for evals. So anyone in any community, instead of measuring AI just like a calculator, like how quick it is, how accurate it is, can actually measure whether it's like a good community member.
Yeah.
So nurses, doctors, people, we talk about how spouses using AI to mediate instead of make them fight each other more, and so on. Each person have a very different idea of what counts as helpful by AI models. So you can kind of donate your transcript in an anonymized way of what's good and what's bad in interactions. And what Weval does is that it groups them into what's called blueprints. So we can see, like for each new AI model, how well it fits into the existing community. Does it know the history of our town? Does it actually bring people closer together, and so on?
So for example, some of the Wevals that I saw are like, does the model help me understand the new privacy law in Brazil?
That's right.
So a whole bunch of people upload their transcripts and then you evaluate. Is Claude better at understanding the privacy law in Brazil? Is Grok, is Gemini? Or the spousal one, right? If given a transcript of a tense conversation between a spouse, will it suggest escalating it or will it suggest going towards a resolution? And all of them are evaluated on that. So what's cool and different is these are like real world questions and then it's trained on the data that the users upload.
Donated, right, by the local civil society organizers, by the people who care about particular community instead of just this vertical universal thing.
And so if I ran a big AI company and I wanted to game it, presumably I could upload a bunch of transcripts, but it doesn't matter because there'll be thousands of these evals will be uploaded, and I'd also have to game what people care about, right?
Right, exactly. And at the end of the day, the best way for you to game this is actually make your model steerable. So the local smaller community can specify what they look for in an AI model, and your larger model can steer through this kind of refinement, fine-tuning, and so on, as driven by the local models.
So there are two things I love about it. A, it's super useful, right? If I care about democratic discourse and like helping people understand alternative views, you know, I can have that and it can be like a global theme.
Yes.
It should also push the AI models in the right direction. And it also helps like small communities that have kind of been left out of AI because they can figure out which model works best for their problems.
Exactly. And in Oxford, in the Ethics in AI Institute, we have some ethics theories, right, about aging, about what's constituted as good care, what's a good civic AI, and so on. But previously, ethics are kind of stuck in PDFs, like whether people read it or not, right? But now we're then curating this kind of blueprints using Weval. So people who are in actual situation, taking care of their aging parents or whatever, can then tell whether this kind of new model of AI is satisfying their needs or whether it's just satisfying the company's needs.
Great. All right. Wevals. Pretty cool. And today's most interesting thing in tech.